shocking oatmeal 8 mistakes you're making every morning. 99% of older adults start their mornings believing they're doing something good for their bodies, a warm, cozy bowl of oatmeal. The breakfast that's been praised for decades as heart healthy. But what if that comforting bowl isn't healing you? It's quietly hurting you. What if the very oats you trust to protect your heart are actually spiking your blood sugar, draining your energy, and speeding up the aging process without you even realizing it? Most people never question it because it looks healthy, it feels healthy, but science tells a different story. The truth hiding in your breakfast bowl might explain why you feel exhausted by mid-morning, foggy after eating, or restless at night. The good news? It's not too late to change. Just one simple shift can turn that same bowl into real medicine for your heart, your brain, and your energy. So stay with me and make sure you watch this video until the end to discover something that could truly change your mornings. But before we dive in, tell us, where are you watching from today? Number 1, choosing the wrong type of oatmeal. Every morning across America, countless older adults sit down to a comforting bowl of oatmeal, believing they're starting their day with one of the healthiest foods on earth. It seems harmless. Even wise oats are natural, full of fiber, and long recommended for heart health. But here's a truth that surprises many people over 60. The type of oatmeal you choose can make the difference between protecting your heart and quietly stressing it every single day. Research from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition in 2024 found that seniors who ate instant oatmeal most mornings had up to a 55% greater risk of mid-morning fatigue and unstable blood sugar compared to those who ate steel-cut or old-fashioned oats. The reason is simple but critical. Instant oats are heavily processed. To make them cook fast, manufacturers pre-steam, flatten, and sometimes even pre-sweeten them. This breaks down the natural fiber structure, so instead of digesting slowly and keeping blood sugar steady, these oats act like refined starch, quick to raise glucose and quick to drop it. The result is an invisible roller coaster inside the body. Energy spikes, followed by sudden exhaustion, foggy thinking, and cravings that push the pancreas and heart to work harder than they should. Aging changes how the body handles sugar. Insulin sensitivity declines, blood vessels stiffen, and cells need more time to process energy efficiently. When fast-digesting oats flood the bloodstream with glucose, the system responds with sharp insulin surges that inflame artery walls and accelerate cognitive wear. It's like pouring high-octane fuel into an old engine. It burns hot. But the machinery isn't built for that intensity anymore. Steel-cut and old-fashioned rolled oats, by contrast, are the slow, steady version. They take longer to cook because they're closer to their natural form, with the bran and germ intact. These layers contain beta-glucan, a soluble fiber that not only slows digestion but also binds cholesterol in the gut, helping to reduce LDL levels. A Harvard School of Public Health study showed that just 3 grams of beta-glucan daily could lower heart disease risk by nearly 9%. It's a small number with a big consequence: better circulation, steadier energy, and a brain that stays sharper for longer. A story from my clinic illustrates this perfectly. Ellen, a 7-year-old retired nurse from Oregon, loved instant oatmeal for its convenience. But she complained of late morning tiredness and frequent sugar cravings. After reviewing her diet, we replaced her instant oats with steel-cut oats cooked slowly on the stove. Within 3 weeks, her blood sugar readings flattened out, and she described her mornings as calm and clear again. Her experience is common. It's rarely the oats that are the problem, but how we choose and prepare them. This simple adjustment carries a profound message. Healthy aging doesn't come from shortcuts. It comes from mindful habits, repeated with patience. Taking 10 extra minutes to simmer real oats is an act of self-respect, a quiet investment in strength, balance, and clarity. Food is not just fuel. It's information the body uses to heal or to harm. Choose wisely, cook gently, and let your breakfast serve you rather than rush you. Before changing any dietary habits, especially for those managing diabetes or heart conditions, always consult a physician or registered dietitian. The right oats, chosen with care and understanding, can transform a simple breakfast into a daily medicine for the heart, mind, and spirit. Number 2, cooking oatmeal at the wrong temperature. In many American kitchens, mornings begin with the comforting sound of a pot simmering on the stove or the quick hum of a microwave. Yet the difference between those two sounds can mean the difference between nourishment and nutrient loss. When oatmeal is cooked too fast or at too high a temperature, it quietly surrenders some of its most valuable gifts. Researchers from the Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry reported in 2023 that excessive heat during cooking destroys up to 30% of the B vitamins naturally found in oats. These vitamins are crucial for nerve health, heart rhythm, and mental clarity, areas that become increasingly fragile with age. High heat also weakens the structure of beta-glucan fiber, the very compound that helps lower cholesterol and regulate blood sugar. What seems like a harmless shortcut may, over time, rob the body of the gentle energy and protective nutrients oatmeal is meant to provide. Think of oats as a living grain rather than a dry ingredient. Just as a seed sprouts best in soft soil and steady sunlight, oats release their benefits most fully under patient heat. When cooked on a gentle simmer, they thicken slowly, releasing starches that form a creamy texture. That process is more than culinary magic. It allows complex carbohydrates to transform into slow energy, easing the strain on the pancreas and heart. A community wellness program in Iowa once shared an inspiring observation. Two groups of seniors followed identical oatmeal diets for 6 weeks. One group microwaved their oats in 2 minutes. The other simmered theirs on low heat for 15. At the end of the trial, those who cooked slowly reported steadier morning energy, and blood tests confirmed higher levels of B6 and magnesium minerals vital for maintaining muscle and cognitive strength. The difference wasn't what they ate, but how they treated it. Cooking is a conversation between food and time. When rushed, the message becomes noise. When unhurried, it becomes music. Allowing oats to cook gently for 10 to 15 minutes gives the body something that instant methods cannot: a breakfast aligned with its natural rhythm. Aging bodies thrive on steady signals, predictable digestion, consistent glucose levels, reliable energy flow. A slow-cooked bowl of oats delivers exactly that. The practice of patience at the stove is also a form of mindfulness. While the oats simmer, the kitchen fills with warmth and quiet steam, a reminder that nourishment isn't only chemical, it's emotional. Meals prepared with time and care soothe the nervous system, lower cortisol, and create a sense of calm that lasts far beyond breakfast. To protect both heart and mind, use moderate heat and stir occasionally to prevent sticking. Avoid boiling aggressively or microwaving on high power. Let the oats rest a few minutes before serving so they continue to absorb moisture and retain their natural texture. Each small adjustment is a gesture of respect toward the body's delicate balance. As always, dietary changes should be discussed with a qualified physician or dietitian, especially when managing chronic conditions. Gentle heat, patient cooking, and mindful eating turn a simple pot of oats into more than a meal. It becomes a quiet ritual of preservation and peace, one that honors both science and the slow beauty of the morning. Number 3, using the wrong water ratio when cooking oatmeal. At a community center in Savannah, Georgia, an elderly couple attended a nutrition class after years of struggling with digestion. Both had eaten oatmeal every morning, believing it was the key to good health. Yet they complained of bloating, heartburn, and hunger before noon. When a dietitian observed their routine, the problem became clear. Their oatmeal was dense and sticky, made with too little water. What they thought was healthy had quietly turned into a heavy meal that burdened their stomach rather than nourishing it. This story is not rare. According to data from the American Dietetic Association, more than 40% of older adults preparing oatmeal at home use an incorrect water ratio, often because recipes differ or because they want a thicker texture. But the body after 60 digests food more slowly and produces less stomach acid, meaning that dense oatmeal can linger longer in the gut, leading to discomfort, acid reflux, and nutrient malabsorption. The ideal consistency of oatmeal is neither watery nor pasty. It's smooth, light, and gently creamy. Nutritionists at the Mayo Clinic recommend a ratio of 1 cup of oats to 2.5 cups of water or unsweetened milk. This proportion allows the starches in oats to expand fully, releasing soluble fiber that supports heart health and balance. balanced blood sugar while remaining easy on digestion. The liquid does more than create texture. It transforms how nutrients are absorbed and how long fullness lasts. Imagine oatmeal as a sponge. With the right amount of liquid, the fibers swell just enough to trap water and slow down digestion, keeping energy steady. Too little liquid, and the sponge stays dry, leaving starch to break down too fast, raising blood sugar abruptly. Too much liquid, and it becomes thin, diluting essential nutrients and leaving one hungry too soon. The harmony lies in the middle, a consistency that comforts the stomach, not confuses it. A 2022 study from Johns Hopkins University found that seniors who adjusted their oatmeal hydration based on this balance showed a 20% improvement in satiety and a 30% reduction in post-meal glucose spikes over 8 weeks. This subtle change helped participants eat less throughout the day while maintaining steady energy and better bowel regularity. Texture also influences mood and satisfaction. Food psychologists from Cornell University discovered that creamy, well-hydrated oatmeal activates the same calming sensory pathways as warm soup or tea, signaling comfort to the brain and reducing stress hormone. For people living alone, especially after retirement, these simple sensory comforts play a powerful role in emotional well-being. The lesson is gentle, but profound. Cooking is chemistry, and small measurements carry weight. The right ratio brings balance not only to the meal, but to the body's entire rhythm of digestion and energy release. Oatmeal cooked with care becomes a soft dialogue between nourishment and comfort, between science and tradition. When preparing breakfast tomorrow, measure carefully, cook patiently, and listen to how the body responds. And as always, consult a physician or registered dietitian before making dietary adjustments, especially if dealing with diabetes or digestive conditions. The right water ratio may seem like a minor detail, yet in the quiet language of health, it speaks volumes about respect for the body and the art of aging well. Number 4, eating oatmeal the same way every day. In a retirement community outside Denver lived 2 neighbors who began each morning with a bowl of oatmeal. Margaret, a retired school teacher, ate her oats exactly the same way for 20 years, plain, without variation, always cooked in water. Next door, Walter, a former park ranger, treated breakfast as an experiment. Some days he added a sprinkle of chia seeds. Other mornings he stirred in a bit of barley or quinoa. Sometimes he soaked the oats overnight with yogurt. When both attended a wellness screening at age 75, the contrast was striking. Walter's digestion and energy were strong, while Margaret complained of fatigue and nutrient deficiencies despite her discipline. The difference wasn't commitment, it was variety. The body, like the mind, thrives on diversity. Oats are indeed a powerhouse of fiber and minerals, but relying on them in one unchanging form can create subtle imbalances over time. Research from the National Institutes of Health shows that people over 60 who consume a limited range of whole grains have up to 25% lower absorption of zinc and iron compared to those who rotate different grains weekly. The reason lies in natural compounds such as phytates, which can bind minerals when the same food is eaten repeatedly without variation. For older adults whose metabolism slows, this gradual depletion can contribute to muscle weakness, brittle nails, or brain fog. Modern nutrition science now views the gut as an ecosystem that requires diversity to stay resilient. Just as a garden needs different plants to keep the soil fertile, the digestive tract depends on varied fibers and nutrients to support healthy bacteria. A 2023 study from Stanford's Department of Microbiology found that seniors who alternated oats, quinoa, and barley at breakfast maintained 30% higher microbial diversity in their intestines, a key marker of strong immunity and mental stability. Variety also prevents sensory fatigue. When food tastes the same each morning, the brain begins to lose interest, and the simple pleasure of eating fades. Psychologists at Tufts University discovered that seniors who introduced small weekly changes to their breakfast, such as rotating grains or adding natural flavorings like cinnamon or apple slices, showed improved mood and greater adherence to healthy eating long term. In other words, curiosity at the table helps preserve both appetite and happiness. Changing the way oatmeal is prepared does not mean abandoning its comfort. It means letting it evolve with the seasons and the body's needs. Overnight oats in the summer, baked oats in the winter, or a warm mix with pumpkin in autumn can all provide fresh sources of antioxidants and vitamins. Soaking oats for several hours before cooking also reduces phytate content, enhancing the absorption of calcium and magnesium minerals vital for bone strength and nerve function. Walter once shared that experimenting with oats gave him something new to look forward to every morning. His words hold wisdom. Food can either trap or transform. By letting breakfast shift gently over time, the body receives a broader orchestra of nutrients, and the mind stays engaged with the rhythm of living. Healthy aging is not about strict repetition. It's about thoughtful variation guided by awareness. And as always, any changes in diet should be discussed with a physician or registered dietitian. A humble bowl of oats, when prepared in new ways, becomes more than nourishment. It becomes a daily reminder that growth and vitality never truly retire. Number 5, skipping the step of soaking oats before cooking. There's an old saying among farmers in the Midwest: grains that sleep before they wake will feed you better. Modern life, with its quick breakfasts and crowded mornings, has nearly forgotten that wisdom. Yet science now echoes what tradition once knew. Letting oats rest in water before cooking is not about convenience. It's about chemistry, comfort, and care for an aging body. Oats come wrapped in nature's armor, a fine coating of phytic acid that protects them as seeds but resists digestion once on the plate. When eaten dry or cooked straight from the bag, this compound binds to minerals such as iron, zinc, and calcium, making them harder for the body to absorb. Over time, especially after 60, that quiet interference can accumulate into fatigue, brittle bones, or slower healing. Researchers at Tufts University have shown that adults who regularly soak whole grains before cooking can improve mineral absorption by as much as 25%, a difference that builds real resilience across the years. Soaking works because time transforms the grain. Over several hours in water, natural enzymes awaken. They begin to dismantle phytic acid, unlock vitamins, and soften fibers so the digestive system no longer needs to struggle. When the soaked oats finally meet the gentle heat of the stove, they cook faster, release more soluble fiber, and deliver nutrients in a form the body can actually use. In this way, the humble overnight rest becomes an act of quiet nourishment. A small study from the University of Minnesota illustrated the effect beautifully. Seniors who replaced dry oats with pre-soaked oats for 1 month reported smoother digestion, fewer bloating episodes, and better morning energy. Laboratory tests confirmed higher levels of magnesium and iron absorption. One participant described the change as waking up lighter inside, a phrase that captures both physiology and feeling. Soaking also brings a sensory reward. The oats swell and sweeten naturally, developing a soft aroma that no instant mix can imitate. The texture becomes creamy, the taste rounder, and more comforting, proof that patience often tastes better than haste. Preparing them is simple. Mix 1 cup of oats with 2 cups of water, add a teaspoon of yogurt or a few drops of lemon juice, and leave them overnight. In the morning, cook them briefly until warm and fragrant. For those managing digestive discomfort, diabetes, or heartburn, this small habit can make breakfast both easier to digest and more balanced in blood sugar response. Physicians at the Cleveland Clinic often include soaked oats in dietary programs designed to calm inflammation and support heart function. Beyond its biological value, soaking teaches a human truth. Slowing down allows renewal. Each evening, when oats are set to rest, there's a silent reminder that healing happens not in the rush, but in the pause. Allowing the grain to soften overnight is a metaphor for caring for oneself with the same gentleness. Always consult a physician or registered dietitian before changing daily habits, especially when managing chronic conditions. A few hours of soaking may seem small, yet it turns ordinary oats into something profoundly different. A meal that restores rather than depletes, and a morning that begins with calm, strength, and gratitude. Number 6. Eating oatmeal too often without balancing the weekly diet. A large-scale nutritional study conducted in 2023 by the National Institutes of Health tracked the eating habits of more than 4,000 adults over the age of 60. The findings surprised even experienced dietitians. Participants who ate oatmeal daily as their primary grain source showed lower overall protein intake and mild deficiencies in vitamin B12 and iron compared with those who alternated oats with other whole grains. The conclusion was clear: too much of a good thing can still become a problem. Oatmeal has long been celebrated as a heart-healthy breakfast, but the body depends on a spectrum of nutrients, not a single source. Oats, while rich in soluble fiber and manganese, contain less lysine, an essential amino acid necessary for maintaining muscle mass and tissue repair. Over-reliance on oats can gradually limit amino acid variety, especially in older adults whose protein absorption already declines with age. Physicians at the Mayo Clinic have observed that seniors consuming the same grain daily often report fatigue, slow recovery after activity, and reduced muscle tone symptoms that mirror low protein diversity. Variety in grains is like variety in voices within a choir. Each contributes a distinct harmony to the body's health. Quinoa brings complete protein, barley offers resistant starch that supports colon health, amaranth delivers extra calcium and antioxidants. By rotating these grains through the week, oats on some mornings, quinoa or brown rice on others, the digestive system encounters new fibers and gut bacteria flourish in response. A Stanford University study in 2022 found that seniors who alternated whole grains had 30% higher gut microbial diversity, a marker linked to stronger immunity and mental well-being. Beyond nutrition, routine affects emotion. Eating the same food every day can dull sensory pleasure and narrow the brain's engagement with mealtime. Food psychologists at Tufts University discovered that even minor variations in flavor or texture stimulate dopamine release, enhancing satisfaction and motivation to eat healthfully. In contrast, monotony can lead to unconscious overeating or cravings for sugary foods as the mind seeks stimulation elsewhere. Cultural history also reminds that Americans once practiced seasonal eating without calling it a diet. In the Midwest, oats were a winter staple, while corn, wheat, and barley rotated through the year according to harvest. This natural rhythm offered balance between carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. Modern convenience has erased much of that pattern, leaving many older adults caught in the simplicity trap: one food, one habit, year after year. The solution doesn't mean abandoning oatmeal. Instead, it invites balance. Plan the week like a thoughtful menu: oatmeal 3 or 4 mornings, quinoa, porridge, or millet cereal on others. Adding variety strengthens the gut, enriches the blood, and keeps the joy of eating alive. This rhythm also reflects the deeper truth of healthy aging: adaptation is nourishment. For anyone managing chronic conditions such as diabetes or heart disease, consulting a physician or dietitian before changing dietary frequency ensures safe adjustments. In moderation, oats remain a powerful ally for heart and brain health, but by sharing the breakfast table with other grains, they perform even better. The lesson is simple yet profound. The body, like the mind, stays young when it meets new experiences. Sometimes all it takes is a different grain in the bowl. Number 7, eating oatmeal at the wrong time of day. The body is like a clock that never stops ticking. Every organ, from the heart to the pancreas, follows a rhythm as precise as sunrise and sunset. When that rhythm is respected, digestion hums in harmony. When it's ignored, even the healthiest food can turn unkind. Oatmeal, though praised as a nourishing grain, often loses its gentle power when eaten at the wrong hour. Biologically, the morning is when metabolism awakens and insulin sensitivity peaks. That means the body handles carbohydrates best soon after waking, using them as slow, steady fuel rather than storing them as fat. Eating oatmeal in the morning allows its complex carbohydrates and soluble fibers to release energy gradually throughout the day. In contrast, consuming oatmeal late at night when insulin response naturally weakens can elevate blood sugar for hours during sleep, straining the heart and disturbing rest. A 2023 study from the University of California, San Diego, found that older adults who ate high-carbohydrate evening meals, including oatmeal, experienced 18% higher overnight glucose levels and poorer sleep quality compared with those who ate the same meals at breakfast. A real story from practice makes this lesson vivid. Prom, a 70-year-old retired teacher from North Carolina, had always enjoyed a bowl of oatmeal before bedtime, believing it was light and good for his digestion. Yet he often woke up groggy and hungry at dawn. After reviewing his glucose readings, his physician advised moving that same bowl to breakfast. Within 2 weeks, Tom's morning energy returned and his blood sugar stabilized. "It's like my body stopped fighting the night," he said with quiet humor. Timing affects not only metabolism, but also how food communicates with hormones. When oatmeal is eaten early, it cooperates with cortisol's natural rise, keeping energy stable and mood balanced. When eaten late, it competes with melatonin, the hormone of rest, leading to fragmented sleep and slow recovery. The circadian rhythm, our inner clock, works best when breakfast provides complex carbohydrates, lunch adds protein for repair, and dinner remains light to support rest. Culturally, breakfast has always held symbolic power in America's wellness tradition. The pioneers who settled the Great Plains often began their days with warm oats before working the fields, not after. Their wisdom was instinctive. The grain provided endurance for the hours of labor ahead. Today's science merely explains what they already knew. For those managing diabetes or heart conditions, understanding timing becomes essential. Doctors at the Cleveland Clinic recommend scheduling carbohydrate-rich foods like oats within the first half of the day to align with natural insulin strength. Doing so can reduce glucose variability by up to 20% and support better cardiovascular rhythm. Healthy aging isn't only about what is eaten, but also when. Moving oatmeal back to its rightful place the early hours restores its promise as a heart-protective, brain-energizing food. The next time the clock strikes morning and sunlight spills into the kitchen, that's the body's way of saying, now is the moment. Always seek professional guidance from a physician or registered dietitian before altering meal timing, especially when under treatment for metabolic or cardiac conditions. In the dance between food and time, the right step can transform an ordinary breakfast into a daily act of renewal. Number 8. Misunderstanding the true biological power of oatmeal. What if the most valuable thing in a bowl of oatmeal isn't its fiber or vitamins, but something far more hidden, something that quietly protects the heart, calms inflammation, and even helps the brain stay young? Most people think of oatmeal as just carbs, but that view misses the real miracle inside this humble grain. Modern nutrition science has uncovered a secret ingredient that transforms oats from a simple breakfast into a true healing food. This ingredient is a group of unique antioxidants called avenanthramides, found almost exclusively in oats. These compounds work like microscopic guardians traveling through the bloodstream, reducing inflammation in artery walls and improving blood flow to the brain. A 2022 study from Tufts University showed that older adults who regularly consumed avenanthamide-rich oats had 15% better arterial flexibility and reported fewer episodes of fatigue and brain fog. Another clinical trial at Harvard Medical School revealed that just 2 servings of whole oats per week reduced inflammatory markers by up to 20% in participants over 65. These numbers tell a story of quiet strength, small daily choices building a foundation for long-term vitality. Imagine the body's blood vessels as the highways of life. Over years of wear, those highways can stiffen and narrow, limiting the flow of oxygen and nutrients to the brain and muscles. Avenanthramides act like gentle road workers, clearing the debris of inflammation and keeping traffic moving smoothly. That is why, when prepared and eaten mindfully, oatmeal can be more than food. It can be daily maintenance for the body's inner roads. A story from a community clinic in Wisconsin brings this science to life. Nora, a 73-year-old retired librarian, struggled with mild hypertension and constant mental fatigue. She'd been avoiding carbohydrates, convinced they were harmful. When her dietitian reintroduced oats, specifically steel-cut oats rich in avenanthramides, her blood pressure improved within 2 months, and she described feeling clear-headed for the first time in years. The grain she once feared had quietly become her medicine. But biology is only part of the story. Eating oats can also nourish emotional well-being. Researchers from the University of Michigan found that seniors who began their day with warm, whole oats showed lower cortisol levels and improved mood stability throughout the morning. The act of preparing oatmeal slowly, watching it thicken and release its gentle aroma, creates a rhythm of mindfulness that soothes the nervous system. The true lesson lies in perspective. Oatmeal is not simply a fuel to fill the stomach. It is a message the body reads. It tells the heart to relax, the blood vessels to open, and the brain to focus. Recognizing this truth transforms eating from habit into healing. As always, it's wise to consult a physician or registered dietitian before making dietary adjustments, especially when managing chronic conditions. But once approved, a regular serving of whole oats cooked slowly, without additives, can serve as a quiet ally in healthy aging. The grain may be ordinary, yet within it lies an extraordinary design, a natural defense written by time, waiting patiently each morning to serve the body that honors it. In a world where convenience often wins over care, the story of oatmeal teaches a timeless lesson. True nourishment begins with mindfulness, not speed. Each bowl of oats carries more than fiber and warmth. It carries a message about how we treat our bodies, our time, and the years we've been gifted. For older adults especially, the small choices in the kitchen often echo deeply in the heart, the mind, and the quiet rhythm of life itself. We live in an age that glorifies instant results, instant food, instant energy, instant satisfaction. Yet, as science and experience show, what's quick to prepare is often slow to heal. Instant oats, fast cooking, careless water ratios, these shortcuts seem harmless but quietly chip away at the body's balance. They leave us tired, foggy, and frustrated, wondering why something so healthy feels so heavy. The truth is simple but profound. The slower the process, the deeper the benefit. Just as life rewards patience, so does the body. Steel-cut oats simmering gently on a stove remind us that healing and vitality come not from rushing but from honoring the process. Healthy aging is not about following strict rules, it's about listening. Listening to what the body whispers each morning. That gentle warmth calms digestion, that balance in nutrients builds resilience, and that variety keeps both the gut and the spirit alive. When we choose whole oats over instant ones, simmer instead of microwave, measure water with care, and occasionally change our recipes, we're not just improving a meal, we're improving our relationship with ourselves. Every mindful choice is an act of respect toward the vessel that carries us through the years. The science behind oats proves what our ancestors already knew. Soaking grains, rotating foods, and eating with the rhythm of the day aren't old habits, they're ancient wisdom rediscovered. Our grandparents didn't rush breakfast because they understood food was more than fuel. It was connection, comfort, and continuity. Oatmeal, when treated with care, becomes a metaphor for living. Soft but strong, simple yet profound, gentle yet sustaining. And there's a deeper emotional truth hidden here too. When we slow down enough to cook with intention, we also create space to think, to breathe, and to feel grateful. We give our mornings a heartbeat. We turn the kitchen into a sanctuary where health begins not with medicine, but with mindfulness. So, the next time you prepare a bowl of oats, remember, you're not just cooking breakfast. You're practicing a form of self-respect. Choose real oats. Cook them slowly. Vary them often. Let the warmth remind you that the best parts of life, like the best flavors, can't be rushed. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it valuable, please share it so others can learn and grow too. And if this is your first time visiting our channel, or you haven't yet subscribed, do it today so you never miss stories that nourish your heart and inspire your days. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your reflections in the comments below. Thank you again for being here. Stay strong, stay peaceful, and may your golden years be filled with health, warmth, and quiet joy.